Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my studio. Today is not going to be the marathon day that yesterday was. So maybe you caught yesterday. It was the 24-hour flash sale that Stampin' Up! Did. So as part of that, I did 4 Facebook Lives, and I did get 3 of those tutorials retaped and over here on YouTube for you. So the one I'm going to do now is not the same as what I did on Facebook, and I'll show you that in a second. But good news is, everybody who placed an order yesterday, I have enough of the cards that I made, because I made so many, that you will all get one of the ones that I made yesterday in with your additional thank you that you would normally get. So, because you know I have a stack, and then I have some more over here that you're going to see in just a second. So if you haven't seen those videos, I just want to show you what did post yesterday, because there were so many of them that you might have missed them. So the sale's no longer on, but we go back to my normal host code, and next week I will have an end of October sale. I'm not going to do a weekend special this weekend, since I just did the special yesterday, but next week I will have an end of October, and then I won't do a weekend special next weekend. So kind of mixing it up this month. So this was the outline alphabet and the Merry Christmas to All, which I happen to be using again today, with the snowman paper and the snowman embellishment kit. So this is a super quick little whimsical card. It would be great for kids. It would also be great to make personalized tags, because you could stamp the names or gifts. Then this one, I'm going to, a couple of these I'm going to redo. Oh, I've lost one. Oh, here it is. I'm going to redo this one with the current stamp set that's in the holiday catalog that's similar to this, and I think it'll be a camp project. But I'm also using this stamp bundle today. I'm not using this part of the dies. I'm using the rest of the dies that go with this. So you're going to see the additional dies with this on today's card. So I'm kind of mixing it all up. This is Waterfront and the Buffalo Check, which you know is my favorite. So we're going to do a version of this at camp in November if you're in Indianapolis and you want to join us. But the scene will be a little different, because we're going to use the actual one that's designed for winter. I don't own it, so I'm going to be taking it from my daughter. I don't have it yet, so I can't switch it. But when I switch it up, I'll do a quick little video. And then this is Winter Woods. And it's an old stamp set, but I actually love this card. I don't typically use older stamp sets at camp, but we are going to do this at camp because I love it. And it does have new ribbon. It has the new rhinestones, which we are using today. And then it has this fabulous glitter, which is in the holiday catalog. So it's Winter Woods in the birch background, which the birch background is new to this catalog, the annual catalog. And I love this ribbon. So this is also a November camp project. And it may also, a version of this may be my trades for on stage. So if you're going to Lansing and you see me, that may be what you get. So then the final live that I did, I used First Frost, which was on sale, and it's an older set. It was in the holiday catalog last year, and this is what I made with it. I used elements from the Feels Like Frost suite. And here are the cards that I did. So I did, you know, we're gonna get a third version again today, because I like to do this. So this was my original sample. So I used the paper, and I used the stamps and the dies, and I kind of mimicked the way that the paper looked when I stamped them. Someone needs to have a little glue dot added there. And then when I did the live, I added the glitter, because everybody fell in love with that chunky glass-like glitter on the first card. So I added that. So it's just a little switch up. That was the only thing really that I changed. You can see it kind of mutes the colors. But the Feels Like Frost, no, not Feels Like Frost, the First Frost, I mean, the sets go together. So if you have First Frost from last year and you get the Feels Like Frost suite, it's all going to match. So mix it up, and then you'll just have more dies. Like when I made today's card, I really wanted to mix the dies because they do go together so nicely, but I didn't want you to feel like you had to have all of them. If you have this, the paper works beautifully. As you can see, the leaves, all of it matches. And then this was the second card I did. yesterday. Again, this was the one that I had pre-done, and this one I used a little bit of the offcuts. And then this is the one that I did on Facebook Live. And again, I added the glitter. So that was the only difference. This is going to be the style that I did yesterday that I'm going to do now. This one, I stamped the images. This one I colored with blends because these dies, you just, you'll see, they just cut out. So we're going to color them. You can see by adding the glitter that it really muted the colors. But again, these dies from the First Frost match the paper nicely. So that was what my Facebook Live cards were. If you have this set and you want to see how I did it, I'm not going to redo this for YouTube. You'll have to go over to my Cheri's Cards Facebook and find this live, and then you'll be able to see. I got a title up at the top, and you can watch how I did that. If you want to do this one, it's going to be almost similar, very similar to what I did today. There's a little bit of switch ups because the label is different. This one, you'll just have to go watch it. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Frosted Foliage. I'm going to use the bundle because I'm only using some of the images on the inside. And then I'm going to use the dies that come, so the bundle. I'm going to use the images on the inside, and then I'm going to use, these were the two dies that I used on the Buffalo check card, but now I'm going to use all three of the little dies that come, and then I'm going to use the paper, and then this is the chunky glitter that's also part of this suite. I'm not going to use the ribbon. If you don't like to dye your ribbon, then this ribbon will match, but I've dyed ribbon to match the paper, which you noticed on those other two cards. Actually, I will show you this real quick, because this is the peacock ribbon. I dyed it peacock, but it matches this paper. I'm going to use the peacock again. I'm going to use different paper because, you know, when you buy these little stacks, you get 4 sheets of each. So to make it work at camp, everybody has to get a little bit different. So I'm going to do 2 different papers so they'll have 2 different looks. And then I'm going to use the Merry Christmas to All. This was on sale, but I have it. You've seen me use it already a lot over this holiday season. I'm going to use the word Christmas blessing, and I am going to use the dies. I'm going to use this on the inside of the card just because this says, may the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy, and it goes perfect with this paper because this paper is just gorgeous. I still have a lot of stuff stacked here from yesterday, so hopefully I don't have it all cave in. So here's the paper that I'm going to pull out for camp. At camp, we're going to use all of these shades of Seaside Spray. So there's enough that with a couple of packs of paper, we'll be able to make it work. The first card that I've made, I've used this one. So I debated between the 2 of these. I think I'm going to try this one for this card. But then if you haven't seen this paper, the backs of them are all silver foil, which is going to come into play on this card, which it didn't yesterday. And this one also could be used on this card if I need it, but I would like to keep these tree ones for a card that we're going to do with the snow globe. And then these were the ones that I used yesterday, which were the pinks and the purples. It's just a beautiful pack of paper. We could also use this one at camp if we need to. It just doesn't match the dies quite as nicely, and it would match some of the tree sets. And then these we can use if we need to. I'll just have to switch up the colors. This one would be really pretty with the purples. So again, beautiful, beautiful pack of paper. All of the backs. These don't even have to be Christmas. They're silver foil. The snowflakes could be winter, but a lot of these could be Easter, Mother's Day, engagement, wedding cards. So if you don't use them all in the winter, don't feel like you're gonna have to put it aside and not use it again till next year, because most of the sides can be reused. So let's get going on this card. It doesn't take very long. If I have some place to put my stuff, I just moved everything to the side. As I kept going yesterday, I would just move stuff over. So what you need to do when you have this paper, I have the Seaside Spray, but you need to decide, because it's 6 by 6, and you're not going to get all of it, obviously, on your 4 by 6, I mean, 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. So what you want to do is pick which part you want to use. because you're gonna have to trim it. So you might as well get the piece that you want to use. This is our new paper trimmer. It will be coming shortly to customers. And when it does, I'm going to have a fabulous special for you. So be watching. And it will be just a couple of days special. So you want to check with me when it comes out. So I don't, like if I lose this part, I won't care. And probably if I lose a little bit of this, I won't care. So even if you have to do a little bit and a little bit, it's going to give you some pieces back here that you can use. So unlike our other paper trimmer, the blades on this will last a really long time. So let's go 4 this way. And you barely just press. If you press hard, in fact, it will. See, look, I don't need these. So let's get rid of a little bit of this down here first. It has a scoring and it, you barely press. If you press too hard, it's gonna dull your blade because it's gonna press down into this thing down here. Now let's go back over here and get 4. In fact, I'm gonna go a little bit more than 4 because this paper's pretty and I don't need to have the full border of the seafoam. So you barely, like, I'm not gonna even push. Like, you don't have to push hard, just barely push. Okay. And you can use this for tags, you can save it. You're gonna also have this, which on this card I'm gonna use. So now we've got our 4, which mine is a little bit bigger than 4. And now you gotta decide which part of this you can lose. So I'm gonna lose some of this up here. So it's 5 1/4, but again, we can go a little bit bigger than 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 is here, and I'm just gonna smudge it a bit. So then I'm gonna lose a little bit of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off a tiny bit of this end. And now I won't lose as much as my top. And a lot of these you can keep. This one's just white, but a lot of them will be silver on the other side. So even if you're just cutting off a little bit. So here is 5 1/4. Now I'm gonna keep most of my design at the top. So if you're gonna lose paper anyways, you might as well put the part on here that you most like. So now I've kept most of my design. I still have a nice piece here to work with. So now let's do our die cutting. And let's see if on this piece here, see on this one you have a little bit of silver and you could do something with this. So I suggest that you keep a little envelope or a little pouch or something that you can just slide all your little pieces in. From all of the cards I did yesterday, well, that obviously is not. That's from my snowman card. I told you I have a serious little stack of mess over here from all of this stuff. But you end up with all of these. This one I plan on coloring in. But you have all these, and so they can be tags, they can be strips of really pretty border paper, like you could put this on here. So just put these into a packet and keep them because it is paper that you could definitely, most certainly use. Here's the one that came off of, I guess it came off of this one. So, okay, let's do our die cuts. I'm gonna take this, which we just got. I feel like I have too many pieces. I'm gonna put the Christmas out of the Merry Christmas to All on here. And then all the rest of this is shimmer white. So I've got this piece, and these all come out of the bundle with the, I can't remember if it's First Frost or Frosted Foliage because yesterday was a little crazy. When you talk to yourself the whole entire day long, at least on Facebook Live, you know, there's some interaction. But my iPad and my new phone aren't syncing correctly, I don't think, so I can't see all the comments coming. So a lot of the day I felt like I was just talking to myself or my cats. He's down here now. Maybe he'll hop up and join us. But, you know, that's a really long time to talk to yourself. So these just take one pass. Well, they do if you line them up correctly before you put it in. I kind of feel like it's fat, but I don't think I have more on here than I need. go. So the fun thing about these dies is you can see, it looks like they're gonna have like 3, but you're not. Let's put this over here so we don't lose them. Those actually cut 2 and the snowflakes cut 2. Let's see. My first card that I'm gonna show you that I've done as the example only has, it doesn't have snowflakes because that paper didn't really have snowflakes, and this one kind of has the illusion of snow falling in the back. So I went ahead and added the snowflakes to this one. Let me go ahead and do this as well. I'm gonna run this piece and this piece through the folder. Let's pop this out of here. So this is a good way to use your little scrap piece that you've just cut off from your paper. So look how pretty this is going to look against this. So we're going to lay this inside the subtle embossing folder, and it's going to give this paper a really linen-like texture. And my other card goes up and down like this. So you can decide, do we want this to go up and down? Or do I want it to go this way? I think I'm gonna go with the up and down. Do we want it to go this way? I think I might do this. I wanna do it kind of the way I wanna do it because I wanna kind of press this into where it's gonna go. So let's go like this. You won't keep it exactly there, but it'll press a little pattern into it. So just lay that in there. Remember your your folders always go fold seam through first, so you don't ruin your folders. This is one that still says Sizzix on it, so it does not need the blue plate. If it doesn't say Sizzix and you have one of the new ones, then it will need the blue plate. Look how pretty this side looks once it has the subtle. And you can even see the Christmas through this side. I was hoping I could get it off at the same time. Look how pretty that is. Even if you keep your pieces, you could put this, if it wasn't backwards, but you could run Christmas through this way and put it in on a piece of seafoam itself, and that would be really pretty. But now we have those. And now let's take inside of our card and go ahead and stamp that while our card's flat. The only color I'm going to stamp with today is Seaside Spray. So I have the saying from the Merry Christmas to All, because it says, may the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy. And it's really pretty with this paper. So stamp this. And then these are the stamps from the, I don't even see where I laid the case, so I can't tell you what it's called. Here it is. Nope. Well, that one's First Frost, so this one must be Frosted Foliage. So I'm going to use the snowflakes down here, and then the little wispy that matches the little Queen Anne's lace kind of thing. Where do we want to put it? Actually, I'm just going to put it off the side. So now our card's really pretty on the inside to match the outside. And if you have your envelope, go ahead and stamp one of these on the outside of your envelope as well in the same color. So that way it all matches. So now that's ready. And we're going to take our pieces here. My other side dirty. Pop all of these out. You have to be a little bit careful with them, as like the snowflakes and stuff, because they're not like they're dainty, but just because there's so many little pieces they can stick on themselves. My other one, I had a piece that was big enough to stamp my Christmas on. I'm gonna have to reach over and grab some scrap shimmer white. I went through a lot of shimmery white cardstock yesterday on my lives and tutorials. I used a lot of it. Practically, I think every card except for the snowman card maybe had shimmery white, because it's just the cardstock you need for Christmas. Let's pop all these out. Get this out. I might not use all of these because, like I said, my first card doesn't have snowflakes. So I don't know if this is going to be too much with all of these. In fact, I don't think I'll do this one. Let's take this one away. Maybe if I can pick it up. Grab my scrap piece now. Is that shimmer? Yes. Sometimes you have to angle it in the light when there's no for real sun. Pop that out of there. And this is the blessings that comes out of the Merry Christmas to all. Let's stamp it down here. Corner. That's it for the stamping. Then I'm going to take my blends. And I did this on the other card. I used far more colors because that paper had a lot more colors. These are just my dark and light Seaside. And you just use your brush tip. I'm going to go with the dark. And on this paper, it's mostly the lighter colors. So I'm just going to use a little bit of highlights of the, maybe all of the dark that I put. And it's a lot of white, so I don't want this all to be colored. But I want just enough that when I lay it on the paper, it's not just all white. It'd be easier to see if I didn't have all the colors from yesterday. But I also went through a lot of my grid paper yesterday. I need to order some more. And this will dry lighter than what it, especially the light dries lighter. It's just a wisp of blue. Okay. That's all the coloring that we need. So if you were making these for your Christmas cards or making, you know, more than 2, I would do all of the steps, like run all these through your die cutting machine. And then color all of them and like do each step for all of them. Stamp all of the blessings and then cut all of the blessings out. So you're not doing each individual card and it'll go a lot faster. So let's mount all this together. What you want to do is figure out how you want to lay it. So I had it go like this. And you can kind of see where I put my Christmas on here, and running this through the through the die cutting machine makes it lay flatter. So let's put this where we want it so we can place everything else. And we do need to remember that this, I don't want to put this on here because I'm going to have ribbon that goes around it. But because I've cut this almost the right size, I don't have a lot of overlay. Like if this was a little bit smaller, I could have this stick over the edges. So it needs to mostly be all the way on this piece of card. So lay this on here, and again, it is fragile. And you don't need to hit every letter, probably like every third. And then the beginning and the end. So make sure you get your first and your last, whichever of this set, this die set comes with lots of big letters. And then you also need to be careful when you lay this down, because once it lays down, it's hard, you don't want them to tear if you have to move it. So we have the S on. There we go. So stick that on. Whoops, my C. A little bit crooked. So pull this puppy up. There we go. That's the other reason you don't want to put it everywhere. It's easier to go back and add a glue dot under something than it is to try to move the whole thing if it gets on wrong. This may stick off my card. If it does, I'll just trim that off. Okay, so now we need to lay all this where we want it to go. And then we'll decide if we need if we need both the snowflakes. So if we put a snowflake here, I'm gonna go lower with it. I've not made this card before, so. And at camp, I will let all of them decide kind of where they want it to go, because everybody's gonna have different paper and they'll have a full sheet and they'll be able to decide where they want, like what design they want. And you can cut your stems off, which is one of the things I did do on my, you don't want it to look messy, but I did cut stems off on the one on Facebook Live because they were too, I don't think I want both my snowflakes. We're gonna put this one back. You could just put it inside your envelope or use it on another card. So every time you'd have two. You could do the same with this because you're getting two. So maybe use one snowflake and one of these on each card because I think that's plenty. So we need to put our blessings up here. Let's stick that there. And then over here where I know it's going to be, stick this stuff over here. And I want the tops to kind of lift up, so I'm only putting adhesive down here at the bottom. That to kind of go up. I'm not even sure where to put this. Let's try it there. This one I'm going to put the adhesive onto this. And so just take your snail and just kind of drag it along the back until you get some in the middle. And again, I want some of it to pop up, so I don't want adhesive on the whole thing. Okay, then let's take the ribbon. And this is ribbon, like I said, that I dyed peacock. But the peacock dye's funny. It has like a purple tinge and then a peacock on the outside. And when I put the pictures on the website and you get an up-close picture, you'll kind of see. Some of the ribbon, like when I put the pictures on, you can see the Rococo Rose. Rococo, my daughter always gets on me when I say it wrong. It dyes perfectly the color of the cardstock. This one dyes just, it's a shade of peacock, but it looks beautiful with this paper. So we like it. It's just the way the different ink dyes are, how they do. So cut a piece of this. I will tell you, doing all of this ribbon is easier in the summer when I tend to have short sleeves on because this ribbon sticks to your sleeves. So let's pull it over here and then kind of hold it where you want the knot to be, which I want it to be kind of the bottom of my little bouquet here. Let's move that over. Tie the knot. Go. And then I've got some adhesive there. So before you do any more with your bow, take this and just kind of spread it out. So you've got more sheer ribbon so you can see through it, so you don't lose any of your pretty paper, and so you can see more of the pretty ribbon. Now you're gonna have one side hopefully longer than the other. So this you wanna be to use your, to be able to wrap around your second bow. I should have had a little bit more ribbon. I didn't follow my rule of having lots of ribbon. So you're gonna make a tiny little bow right here. And then use this longer one to wrap around it and kind of hold it tight together. See, it's tiny, tiny little bow. Poke that through there. You get both pieces. It's easier. It was easier yesterday on Facebook Live because then my head's in it. So in this, I don't want to stick my head right over the top of you. I don't think I got it. Okay, start it again. So tiny little bow. And then keep these tight together so when it goes through, you get both of them. I should have turned it my direction so I can see. I don't think you can see it either, so I don't know that it's helping you to see it. There we go. So then pull your bow and then pull that nice and tight. So you can see now I've got a bow and then I've got these. So take these loops, because there's two of them, because we've doubled everything, and separate them. There you go. And then separate this one down here. You don't want this to be big because you don't want, sometimes on my cards, if you've seen some of them, I do big bows. This one you don't want the bow to overwhelm because this is all kind of dainty. So you don't want it to overwhelm, but you want it to be pretty and fluffy. And then just separate that one out. Like that. So you've got a little puffy bow. And then just take these and trim those off. And let's just mount this together. And I can go all the way up to the edges because I know that my paper is almost as big as my cardstock. And you want to make sure it gets to the edges because this will, the ribbon was going to pull it a little bit. My C does go ever so slightly over the edge, but that's okay. We'll just trim that off. Everybody's going to know it's a C. If we lose the little, it doesn't even matter. It just looks like it came on the card like that. So then one last touch. We have the Holiday Basics and the Noble Peacock, and they both have shades of blue. Now on my first card, I only used this because of the color of paper. But on this, the color of paper, like I might want to put these brighter blues, or I might want to put this Pool Party. This, I'm afraid, is the one I used on the other. I think that's just going to get lost. So let's try the Pool Party. And put 3, because your eye is naturally drawn to 3. If you put 2, then it looks like one's missing. Do one there. Let's do one up here. I think this color on this cardstock looks nice. But again, at camp, I will put them all out and have them, let them have a little bit of choice. So there you go. This is this one. And then here is the one with the other paper. So on the other paper, it's a lighter one. That's why I went with the darker rhinestones. The piece that pulls off the back is polka dot, not stripe. So the Christmas looks a little bit different. And on this one, I didn't have the snowflakes because it didn't appear to me that it was snowing in the background of the card. It's more frosted. So I added both of these and that. So there you go. So there's, with the one stamp set, let me pull back. This is with the original stamp set from First Frost. And those are with the glitter added. There's no rhinestones on these, so you can kind of jazz them up any way you want. This is the same ribbon that's on here. And look, just because this is on the purple, you notice the purple that's more in the ribbon that you do on this. And then this is the Rococo Rose, and it's really the same color as the cardstock. So it just, see up here, It just depends on the refill and how it dies. But there is a video, so you don't need to ask me how I did it because there is a video. I posted it maybe 2 weeks ago, so you can just scroll back through my channel and you can see how I did that. So that's what I have for this week. You will want to check back next week. If you are in Indianapolis and you want to, you'd be interested in coming to my camp, you are more than welcome. Just join my email list. That's the easiest way to find out about my camps. So everybody have a great day. Bye.